the
program.
name of
There will be a
Jesus.
shift in our businesses. In the name of Jesus. We are praying, oh Lord, that kingdom businesses will be established from this event. After tonight, kingdom businesses will be established. After tonight, kingdom businesses in the name of Jesus. Oh, Father, we ask, oh Lord, Imbalabadosa. Oh, Father, we ask for kingdom businesses to be established tonight. Kingdom businesses. After tonight's event, kingdom businesses, oh Lord. Kingdom businesses, oh Lord. After tonight, kingdom businesses will be established in the name of Jesus. Oh, Father, we bless you. Oh, Balibarabadoska, Bakarabados, Kimbarabados, Ebarabadoska, Mashekiribados, Erebados, 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 Everybados. Oh, Father, we are praying, oh Lord, we are praying for kingdom
Mika sete kendoro sete kinda. Eria baka
Let's begin to raise our voices. Let's pray. Let's commit. Let's commit this debate to God tonight. Let's commit it to God tonight. There will be a shift. There will be a shift in our lives. In the name of
Take all the glory, Lord. Take all the glory, Lord. Take all the glory, Lord. Help him, oh Lord. Speak through him. In Jesus' name I have prayed, and others have prayed.
Lord, come on, take control. Father, Lord, come on, take control. Heavenly Father, we call. We need your presence tonight. Come on, give us wisdom and understanding of your word. We need your presence tonight. Come on, take control. Heavenly Father, come on, take control. I am that I am. Believe the value, the put to be the sign. The Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. Lord, come on, take control. Let your name be glorified. Let your name be glorified in the name of Jesus. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Come on, take control in the name of Jesus. You I am that I am. Open our heart, open our mind, give us wisdom tonight. Lord, let us learn from you in the name of Jesus. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. It's a beautiful name.
Businesses will be established. Kingdom businesses will be established. In the name of Jesus Christ.
Don't pray for the establishment of the kingdom business. In the name of Jesus Christ. Pray for establishment of kingdom business. In the name of Jesus Christ. Lord, favor kingdom business establishment. In the name of Jesus Christ. In the name of Jesus Christ.
Ikiti mazuza bragadushata, ikata mana bragadushata, imanazuza kata kata bragadushiti, ikata bragadushiti, ikiti brakata nabashuta, ikiti kata kata mana bragadushata, nimanazuza bragadishata, imanazuza, ni bragadushiti, ikata bragadushata, ikatuma zuza bragadishiti, Libra Gadusha Takatima Nimanazuta Gadishati Ikatuma Gadubra Gadusha Ikitika Pralushata Ikitima Kuta Bradishiti Nimazanteya Ikatuma Shuta Bradushata Ikitima Gadushata Ikatuma Nadishi Nimashuta Makadishiti Kadushiti Ikatama Mazusakada Ikatama Bradusha Ikatama Shuta Yakidisi Mazutama Ikatu Brakadusha Ikata Brakadishi
We are
Mazuta Magadu
not praying. No, I'm not hearing our voice.
Nikata Manazuta Nina Brazuta Magadisha
Hey, Father, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you for tonight. Lord, we give you glory, Lord. We give you all the adoration. Come and take control, Holy Spirit. Come and take control, Lord. Come and take control, Father. Come and take control, Holy Spirit of God. Ebalabados, Kandarabados, Shikiribedes, Kiribados, Kiribados, Shigiribados, Kiribados, Embalabadoska, Ashikiribedes, Kiribadoska, Karabadoska. Oh, thank you. Father, we give you all the glory. Amen. Amen. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Amen. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
And all right. Thank you, everybody. You're welcome to our event this evening. The topic is advancing your brand, business, and the kingdom through social media. So our facilitator will be joining us very soon. He's going to be joining us in the next 1 minute. It was necessary that we had to pray before we started the event. Like I said, we're a Christian community. However, being a Christian is not an excuse to be ignorant of the cosmos. And the cosmos is the world that we live in now. We live in even though we are spiritual people, we live in a natural world, and we need skills. All right, we need skills. All right, we need something that we can do that God can bless. All right, we cannot be idle and be asking God for blessing. All right, so we need skills. So that's the whole essence of this event this evening. That's the whole essence of this event this evening. So I want to welcome everybody once again. I don't know. Have you joined us, Joe? Hello, Joe. All right. So we are waiting for the facilitator to start. It's going to start any time from now. Okay, we are waiting for you. All right, Caleb. Hello, Caleb.
Sir, I'm with you, sir.
Please, can we mute everybody so that can we mute everybody? So we are still waiting for our facilitator. He's trying to connect. Yeah, you're not in. No, just click on the link now. You enter. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Just signify once you are in. All right. Okay, Caleb, can you project that picture for us?
Okay.
While we wait for the facilitator, he's struggling to connect, but I'm sure he will connect us very soon. But meanwhile, let's just. So anyway, our facilitator is going to be taking the topic on brand. Actually, this is supposed to be the last session, but since he's still trying to connect, we're just going to take this session before the facilitator comes in. I don't know. I think he's in now. Okay. All right. So, well, this is a picture of the social media world. All right. And please, we want to implore us that let's be very interactive during the session. Once we start the session, if we have questions, you can send it in the chat box. Or if you need to say something, you can raise your hand and all that. It's going to be a very short session, 1 hour. We hope we'll be able to cover everything we want to cover under 1 hour. But all right, let me just speak quickly on this picture. If you can look at your screen, you will see a picture. This is a picture of the social. This is a picture of the world that we live in now. All right, whether we like it or not, this is the global village. This is the reality of this present age. All right, the world has gone digital. All right, and even as a people, as believers or anything, we are supposed to be on top of our game in terms of building our brand and you know, our businesses. A lot of businesses have been bettered on social media and they are flourishing today. A lot of businesses have been bettered on social media. I mean, for example, I'm going to give you an example. An example is Uber. All right, Uber is an app, is an application. They hardly have a physical building anywhere, and they are running all over the world. So this is the power of social media. We must understand the power that is in social media. We must not continue to be ignorant about the power that is on social media. We have if you are somebody that you are very conversant with Twitter, all right, we have these people, they call themselves influencers. All right, they are influencers. They have a lot of followers. They build these followers themselves. All right, and they have a lot of followers. They have a lot of followings on Twitter, and organizations approach them so that they can advertise their businesses. If you also notice that on Instagram too, we have people that do skits, all this comedy stuff. Organizations also approach them. So what I'm saying in essence that you can actually be in the comfort of your house and you are flourishing. This is the reality of social media, and we must open our eyes to the reality of the future. All right. So if right now we have businesses and they don't have social media handles, they don't have social media presence, I think after this meeting, this is an opportunity for us to go and establish our presence on social media. This is the reality of this current age. This is the reality of the future. All right. Everybody is going digital. Even the church too now is going digital. So every organization, now a lot of organizations work remotely. Please, I hope we are paying attention. A lot of organizations, do you know that right now, some organizations abroad, they can employ you even in the comfort of your house. So whether you are an accountant, whether you are an engineer, whether you are a fashion designer, whether you are any profession that you are in, you can be in the comfort of your house and you can get remote jobs. So if you're not on LinkedIn, for example, you are losing out. If you're not on LinkedIn, if you're not on Facebook, if you're not on Twitter, if you're not on Instagram, we must wake up to the reality of the future. So, like I said, if you look at the screen, this is a Caleb, please, can we zoom it a little bit more? Can we zoom it a little bit more? So this is the social media world. This is we have I don't know if you can see the numbers on Facebook. Currently in the world right now, we have almost 2.6 billion people on Facebook. On WhatsApp, we have almost 2 billion users on WhatsApp. On Instagram, we have 1 billion people. This is the reality of your marketplace. If you are looking for customers for your businesses, if you are looking for an opportunity, this is the reality. This is the prospect. We need to open our eyes to the world that we live in. All right? We need to open our eyes to the power of social media. All right? So this is Caleb. Can we have the second? Just scroll down a little bit. So most of the organizations that are here they are all Zuckerberg's. They are all Zuckerberg's organizations. This Facebook and all that. Can you zoom a little bit? So this is. I wish we can zoom a little bit more. These are some social medias. I mean, that are all over the place. All right, and the potential you have in reaching people is limitless. There is no limit to your customer base as a business owner. All right, this is our I mean, look, you can see the potential. There's a lot of potential here. There's a lot of potential here. So we need to open our eyes. Initially, a lot of us thought that I mean, if you look at the younger generations, a lot of them have keyed into the power of social media. All right, social media is not just doing WhatsApp. A lot of us are always on our phones. All right, we're always on our phones chatting, and you don't know that there are lots of opportunities. A lot of opportunities on these other social media accounts. We have WeChat, we have TikTok, we have Ozone. It's all about being flexible. All right, it's all about being open to. We have Telegram. We have Telegram. We have Weibo. These are all social media accounts that we can use. A lot of us are. All right. Our All right. So okay. So I wish we can enlarge this can we enlarge it? So we have a potential 4.5 billion people on social media. Potential 4.5 billion people on social media. Where's our screen? Oh. Our facilitator is still trying to connect with us. He's struggling with his he's struggling to connect with us. So So we are kind of waiting for him anyway. So that
I think he's online. Check the chat, sir.
All right, are you with us now? Hello, Mr. Joe, are you with us? Okay, please, can you take the stage? Okay, he's with us now. You might need to unmute yourself, oh, Mr. Joe. You might need to unmute yourself.
Oh, here's the sweetest thing.
Joe, are you there?
I'm online though, but I can't seem to hear you guys at all.
All right. We are really sorry for keeping us waiting. I don't understand what is happening tonight. I know he's struggling with his network to connect. But meanwhile, while he'll be taking us his own session, Caleb will be taking us a session right now while we wait for the facilitator. So, Caleb, over to you.
Sir Robert.
Yeah?
The facilitator is saying something. I think you should check on the chat.
Don't worry about that. Tell Caleb, take over, I beg.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, good evening, Caleb. Can you hear you?
Yeah, I'm trying to position myself so you could see my face because I'm kind of backing the light. Okay, so let me mute this person. Okay, so today we are supposed to be talking about advancing your business, your brand, and the kingdom through social media. But first, we all have to understand the importance of social media and the relevance of social media in this our current generation. So most of the time, social media takes users' data and the internet. They take users' data and then synchronize it to this big web, which is owned by Amazon. So this big web is the largest database in our earth currently. So they take your interest, they take what you do, they take what you like, and then put it on an algorithm. Now, this algorithm enables them to specify any of their targets. So, for example, now, if I want to get Sarobet, and I know that Sarobet usually listens to gospel music, he likes listening to sermons. So, what I'm going to do is, because I have made this algorithm in place on all the internet search engines and platforms. Now, anytime I want to get Sarobet, I take his interest. So we have to be aware of the interest of the people when we're dealing with our social media. So, for example, if you want to push your brand on certain aspect, or if you want to make a promotion on something, so they're going to ask you, okay, how are you going to promote this thing? You want to promote it, whether you want to promote it for only male, you want to promote it for only females, or they'll ask you the interest. The interest now is the key thing that matters. So in order for us to build our business and our brand with social media, firstly, we have to be aware of what the internet search engine is and the algorithms that are put in place, because it's this algorithm that help us to help us push whatever we want to push. Now, this is in terms of the business. Now, let me talk in terms of the brand. So if we want to build our brand, advancing our brand, people like catchy things. People like seeing things that will get their attention fast. And how do you do that? Digital marketers have made us understand that graphic designing is the fast growing pace at which the economy is moving at right now. People are looking much more for on graphical content. People are looking much more for advertising a product with a modern animation. So this is one job opportunity. One job opportunity is the graphics designing, content writing, and then also animation, videography. You can, this is like a business tip I'm giving now, but it's there's free session. So if this is put in place, you are ready for the job market. Now, in job market is you have to also be open for LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is a platform that enables your interest is in place. They have seen your skills. Okay, they've seen your skills in digital marketing. They see your skill in graphics designing, and so that is how it works. So if we're looking at it for the kingdom, because if you look deeply, what is happening right now, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, all of these people, they are using our data for something. What are they using our data for? They are pushing an agenda. The agenda they're pushing is because of they have a purpose at which they want to take mankind into in the next 2030. So if you look at Elon Musk right now, Elon Musk is looking at imputing, is moving on SpaceX, is moving on, there's this internet he's doing right now. I've forgotten the name of the internet. He's talking about artificial intelligence, implanting artificial intelligence on people. So these are all agendas. So as believers, we should also have an agenda. So our agenda is to use the necessary tool to push the kingdom that we want to push, because they are pushing their kingdom. They are trying to make everyone think the way they want to think. So our case should be different. So if we are thinking about advancing the kingdom, we have to be ready to use the system against the system, because the system has always been against us. So we can't be for the system. So we have to use the system to fight for the system. And everybody's on social media now. So look at this COVID period, everybody's online, everybody's on WhatsApp, Facebook, and a lot of things has happened during this period. A lot of negative and positive influences has happened because they were easy to get everybody on the internet. So in order for us right now to be able to push ourselves, push our kingdom, because this is our mindset, this is our goal, our focus and aim in life is to push the kingdom. So we have to use our skills. Our skills are things given to us, and we can always fly on the social media. So if you are a writer, you can use your writing skills on social media. So I'll be running up now. So our facilitator is ready. So I'll be handing over to him right now. So thank you very much for your brief patience with us. All right. Up to you, sir.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening,
Mr. Joseph.
I sincerely apologize for this total breakdown. I mean, this is quite strange to me.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. I've actually been preparing for this for close to 3 weeks, and it's quite strange for me that all of a sudden this night that everything just went gaga. All right, so I see that we've taken so much time, but I'm going to just go straight to the point, and I'd like to share my screen. I have slides that I'll share. I'm sure we might not be able to finish all that I have in store for us today. I'll plead that we have another class or we have another session. But please can the facilitator the host give me right to be able to share my screen so I can share this. I need to share. Okay.
Okay. I've made you a co-host now, so you could be able to share your screen.
Perfect. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So yes. So I've been given a very little task to talk about advancing your brand, business, and the kingdom through social media. But this is, I would say, like eating a bar, pounded yam, and putting all of them together in one plate is a lot. So I'm going to break it down into different stages so that we can understand it, and then we can now ask our questions, and then, so that we don't get lost in it, because this is a huge, huge, huge topic. Now, first of all, I'm going to take us through the first slide, which is what I want to be on our minds. And the first thing is, in order for you to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than of your failure. I hope you can see that. I hope you can see my slides fully.
Yes, sir, we can see.
Yes. And secondly, you need to always put this at the back of your mind, which is one thing that a lot of business entrepreneurs seem to always forget. You need to always deliver more than expected. If you see that sometimes you go into some restaurants and all of that, you see the faces of people, the way when you want to buy food, and you see the way the person who is selling that, the way she has twisted her face because she's not happy because maybe her salary has not been paid, or maybe before she came into work that day, she had a quarrel with the boss, or the boss, her supervisor told her all of that. All of that, you're expected to leave that at the front of your business before entering into the premises. And I'm going to be using a very favorite story of mine to buttress a lot of my points, and that's the story of Colonel Sanders. I mean, the guy who is behind the KFC chicken, the one that we all eat and we love every day. I'm sure a lot of you will know, I mean, some of us who do a lot of research, that his recipe for the chicken which we all eat every day was rejected 1,009 times. I mean, if you can count it, 1, 2, 3, up to 1,000, and then 9 times before a restaurant accepted it. So you need to understand your brand. And I have tagged it into a word, like the bankers say, KYC, know your customer, but I call it KYP, know your product. When you know your product, you'll be able to defend and sell your product anywhere, even on the social media. And for you to push the social media, you need to be able to have content. I'm going to take you, and then, As we go, I'll show you the points so that you understand why all these factors, all these points that I've raised are very, very important. So, like I said, remember this KYP, you must know your product. And what is branding? Okay, this is a story about him. I mean, I'm not going to bore you with this, but I'm going to leave this slide so that we would understand. I mean, you would see how he became successful and all the things he had to really go through, the pain. I mean, the first one was on the first day of his retirement, he received a check from the government of just $105 and all of that. And he decided to even commit suicide because he felt worthless. He felt that living was no more. That he felt there was no reason for him to live. At age 65, this was when people were retiring. But at the age of 88, he found KFC and he became a billionaire before he died. So this is my other story. Do not be embarrassed by your failures. Learn from them and start again. Now, my introduction, these are my key points so that we just get guided. For you to run a successful business, you need to have all this. You need to have your vision. And I'm going to liken my story to the conception of a child. You know, the child is conceived and then, his birth, it goes through a process. For you to have a successful business, it must go through a circle flow. Whatever successful businesses you're seeing today, they have gone through a process. And there are a lot of factors that make up these businesses to be successful. And these factors, I believe by the grace of God, we'll be able to touch them so that you will know that with the power of social media, as you get into the social media, is not just for fun, the way people use it, it also has both its positive side and the negative side. But with the positive side is what we're going to concentrate on how to really, really enhance and push your business forward. So you need, your vision, know your product, advertising, branding, details or content, the structure, your finance, your security. Now, brand and business. The difference between your brand and your business is that latter, the company. Is the organization that produces your product or offers your services. Your brand is the image or identity that your business projects, the way that consumers perceive your business. The way people see your business is your brand. Remember, the way people see your business is your brand. And if your business is not properly packaged, it will give a wrong perception to your customers. It is also like the saying that people say, the way you dress is the way you'll be addressed. It's the same thing that goes for your business. You need to be able to brand your business in such a way that when your consumers or your business people see it, once they come in contact with your product, they are captivated. They really want to say, oh, what's this business all about? Why do people still keep on drinking Coca-Cola even when there is Pepsi? Because of the power behind the advertising, because the power behind that brand. That's the main reason. People sometimes, you tell people this, even though in America, a lot of people say, oh, there's obesity and all of that, but people still drink Coke. Even though, people still say, no, there's too much sugar. We still drink Coke. Why? So you need to be able to understand that how to package your business, how to put it in such a way that when people see it at the first point of contact, they are glued to it. Once you lose that point, you lose your business. Once you lose that branding point, you lose your business. And that's why I broke it down and I said, the vision, of course, is, about your business is, your product. The branding also entails about your advertising, the content. Why some people's websites are not interesting daily is because they don't update their sites. You need to be able to have content, details. Secondly, structure. Structure is beyond just the physical. Structure also entails your workforce. All these are all the factors that build up together to make your business successful. So that by the time it goes onto the social media, onto the internet, people, whatever people see on the internet, people won't know what is going on in the background, but these are the background things that you do to push it. So that when people come in contact with you, they'll say, yes, that business, those guys are good. Are we following?
Yes, sir, we're following, sir.
All right. And if I'm too fast, please stop me so that, I take it step by step. And now another important thing is, of course, the internet. And, I took 1 or 2 minutes just to break down. I mean, some people might don't even know what the internet, but, what the definition of the internet is, Now, this is your vision. For every business or for every idea that God gives you has to be built around this. This is your vision. This is your vision. Like I said the other day, when God gave Solomon the idea to build up the temple, Solomon was never an architect, but God gave him the wisdom. God gave him the idea. Every business you build surrounds all of this. The future, the success, the goal, the growth, the creativity, and the innovation. That's why you see Microsoft will always keep on doing updates every day. That's why you see Apple will always keep on coming out with new phones. That's why you see Samsung will always coming out with new things daily. And where do they push out all of those things? On the social media. The work is done in the office, behind the scene, and then pushed out on the social media platform. But all of this is generated from this 6 things, which is the vision. And the vision lies on the visioneer. Who is the brain? Who is the brain behind the business? Why I'm taking us through all those rudiments? Because you must have all this foundational knowledge to have a successful business. Because if not, by the time you get to the part of the social media, you will get confused and you will get carried away. The internet is here to stay. And we must get that into our brain. It's here to stay. And all the devices, all the platforms, we must be able to use it to our own benefit. This is about, now I'm going into the next thing, which is branding. And branding is really based on all of those things: target, innovation, target, strategy, marketing, story behind your product, advertising, awareness, quality. What are you selling? Even if you're selling groundnut, what kind of groundnut are you selling? How do you package your groundnut? Because your packaging is very important. Because the way you package your product is the way people will perceive how your business runs. If you package your groundnut bottle in a shabby manner that the bottle cork is not properly done or is not properly sealed, immediately sends a message to whoever your consumers that probably your office is not tidied, or you're doing it in a very maybe under the table or somewhere in your home. Loyalty. How do you take care of your customers? When you've built up your customer base to about 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, how do you take care of them? It is very important. These are some of the things that, in our terrain here, some people don't take into cognizance. And when they don't take these things into cognizance, that's why some of their business falls, because some of them are for the profits. And when you go for the profits, you forget that the business has to grow. There is always what they call the capital. The capital of every business is what you use to start your business. That capital is expected to be kept. It is your capital that you use to generate your profit and build on the business. But within here, some of us, when the profit comes, we eat both the profit and the capital together. How do you expect that business to go? And then when you now eat that, you now run into a loss. The same thing about brand. I have further expatiated to on brand. Your employee, your product, your influencer. I would see if I could get into Instagram. Most of us are all on Instagram. Sometimes you go to some Instagram handles and you see some people have a lot of likes, a lot of more followers than the others. I mean, these are influencers. Your logo matters a lot. Your business card, your content, your social, word of mouth. Word of mouth is basically, for instance, if Robert is selling plantain and I buy plantain from him and I consume that plantain, I will tell the next person that, Robert's plantain is sweet. That's word of mouth. And then it goes on like that. And the next thing the person says, hey, where can I buy Robert's plantain? And the next thing the person says, okay, can you give me Robert's contact? Now, information has moved from Joseph to, let me say, Daniel. Now, Daniel buys the plantain, and then, let me say, another Adedeji sees Daniel eating the plantain. Says, oh boy, this is your plantain. He sees the way he's munching the plantain. He sees that he's munching that plantain in such an interesting format. He says, oh boy, this is your plantain that you're eating. Did you buy it from UK? No. I bought it from Robert. Okay. Now, you have stirred up his mind towards buying that plantain because of the way you are consuming it. We also have phone. We have retail experience, which is one-on-one, and then the price, and then the trade show, and then customer service. Customer service is key. We lack that a lot in this country. Customer service is key. Any business that does not understand the importance of customer service has already failed before starting. Any business that does not understand the power of customer service has already failed. Whether you spend $1 million on your advert, if you do not understand the importance of customer service, how to take care of that customer who walks in through your door, your business has already failed. Your website. It is not just about getting your website, putting up the domain name and all of that. And now let me say something at this point. We have the .ng and the .com, and I know a lot of people have always been asking. I have a lot of people who have asked me today that, what's the difference between the .com and the .ng? The .ng is basically a country-based. You have what I call companies who set up all these domains. And what are these domains? What are these websites? They are companies. They are those companies who host, like a brother was actually trying to explain what Amazon and all of that was trying to do. Some companies buy what we call servers. And because everything everything is now on the cloud, what they do is, websites is just basically storing your information on the cloud. But storing it in such a way that you and I, any other person can visualize it. What do you put on your website? What is the content on your website? Content writing is another thing. Before you go on your social media, you must have enough content. Because that is what keeps your followers on the edge. If you do not have enough content, before you know it, if you had 1,000 followers, by the next day, a lot of them will drop because people don't like to go to inactive pages. And that's why you see a lot of other people go to visit Linda Nkeji. The main reason why they go to visit Linda Nkeji because there is always one gist or the other. And this is where we, as the church, we need to generate content. We need to move our evangelism from the physical point to the social media point. We need to use all tools, our Twitter handles, all forms of social media handles. We need to use it to popularize the kingdom. Okay, and I said, okay, and I've taken us further, and I said, what is a brand? And I've broken it down to the 5-letter word, the BRAND, the blueprint, the relationship, the agreement, the nature, and the distinctiveness of your brand. Now, on the left side, I'm showing us also, I've taken 4 different brands, that we all know. Apple, and then the makers of the iPhone and all of that. From they started in 1976, you see how they have metamorphosed, how they have migrated from 1976 to 1977 to 1998 to 2017. The way they have reformed their logo. The same thing with Microsoft. When Microsoft started, they started with that. And this is where we are in 2020. And they're still upgrading. The same thing with Coca-Cola. In 1900, they started, and also the same thing with Pepsi. Also with Google. Google didn't start as Google. They started as Backrub before they migrated to Google, because Google is made up of partners. So you need to understand your brand. You need to understand your blueprint, your relationship, your agreement. If it's a partnership, you need to understand the kind of partnership you're having. And then what's the nature of your business? So like I said, quality, understand your brand and your audience, speaking an authentic voice. Quality is the best business plan. Don't rush in launching out your business. And then to this very popular story of one of my mentors, Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba. Now Alibaba is a billionaire, but he has been able to use the power of technology to enhance his business because he understands what he's selling. And I like his quote. He says, I'm a proof that anyone can make it. He was also rejected at KFC, the same KFC that also made it at the age of, 65. He was also rejected. But he knew what he had and he followed suit. After you understand all these fundamentals, then we can latch up to the part of the advertising. And there comes the security of your business. I'm just running through all my slides, and then we come on to our social media, the handles. What information do you want to put on these handles? How do you want to be perceived on the internet? The way you start is the way you will be perceived on the internet. We have Twitter, we have your Facebook, we have your LinkedIn, we have your website, and then you have the Google ad, and then you have your Instagram. What makes your business attractive is the kind of content you put on these handles. The same thing happens to our church. Yes, COVID-19 has come and has happened. A lot of our churches never used to look at the multimedia part. But now we have had to look at it. These are things that were on ground. There are some churches that before this time, they don't joke with their online presence. Your online presence matters a lot because whatever goes on the internet cannot be deleted. It takes, because everything is built on cookies. By the time you put it on the internet, someone else abroad, because it's a whole circle. So for a church, it is very important the kind of content, the quality of content that you want to put on these handles. And that's why, for this evening, that's why internet is also a key factor. And I will tell you, in this country, internet is still a problem. But thank God things are getting better. Maybe because of COVID-19, a lot of ISPs are beginning to now, take a look back into their business, because before they were not, they were not really taking into consideration what the customers care. But right now, when COVID-19 started, the percentage of home users had increased. If it was at 10, it had increased almost to 90. A lot of ISPs were maxing out their bandwidth because everything is done now on the internet. But the positive part of it is that, yes, once you put something, everybody sees it. But there's the other part of it is the security, which is what I have just put up on the screen. How secure are you? What are those things you have put on ground to protect yourself from being hacked? For every individual that is on the internet, there's always a hacker working behind the scene to bring down every program. Hackers are always working around the clock. And a hacker will only get attractive to your website when he sees that there's a lot of traffic. And what brings traffic to your website is the content. I'll pause at this point, and if there are any questions and if there are any other things before I continue.
All right, good evening. Yes. Hello. Hello, can I be heard?
Good evening, facilitator.
Can I be heard though?
Yes, you can be heard.
All right. So my question quickly. I mean, I have to be very honest. These kind of meetings is very, very practical in terms of I try to like I understand that there are people that might that don't really understand these our big grammars that we are talking about high P, talking about all this. So I would love if you can just briefly give us like in a layman view how somebody can get a social media presence. I mean, a lot of us here have businesses. There are some of us here that are planning to start a business immediately after this meeting and all that. So how can we, where's the starting point for us? Where do we start from, and how do we establish ourselves on social media? That's my question. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello, facilitator. Can you hear me? Facilitator, can you hear me? Hello, facilitator. Can you hear me? Hello, facilitator.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Good evening. I run a private where I cook soups, mainly for families, at the very most a family of 10. So how do I, with all this that you're saying, lofty, nice things, how do I handle that with my kitchen? I mean, how do I project that? How do I use that to enhance my business? Instagram, Outstagram, this, that. Very good, lofty. But how do I want to narrow it down. How can it be narrowed down so that in my private kitchen, other people can know what I'm doing and that will enhance the patronage. Thank you very much. You guys are doing a very good job. God bless you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so let me just take the two questions at once. How do you start? And that's why I hammered on the content. Okay, so let's take like the last question that was asked. Let's take, for instance, you sell, let's say you're into catering. Now, first of all, I believe that the first thing you should do is you have a business name. Now, that business name, what people will identify you as your business. And business name, of course, that means you need to register it either with of course, at the CAC. There are two types of businesses, you're limited and all of that. Now, after you have done your registration, the next thing you need to do is to build up your social media handle. Before you get into any of these handles, what are the contents that you want to put on this? Now, if you want to start up with Twitter, Twitter means that you're going to be limited with words, and then you also have to have good images. If you want to start with Instagram, Instagram is more pictures. The way you snap your meals For instance, if you're preparing a bag, I mean, there's someone who I follow on Instagram, and they call them Asibe, and the way they always package their food makes my mouth water to eat that food. So packaging matters a lot. So if you're selling like eba, the way that eba is going to be placed on the table matters. You don't put it in such a way that the eba, you have to put it in such a way that when people take it, the picture is so real. So you can start first with your Instagram. Maybe because if you're going to do a website, you have to have enough content. And then the other part of it is your structure. Where can people reach you? You need to have a phone. You have to have a place where if I can't order online and I decide I want to do a physical ordering, can I come to your place and all of that? So your business name, what you want to sell, the variety of your products, maybe if it's soup, okra soup or whatever, your handle. Now, if you don't have the time to do it, you need to be able to get someone who is eloquent, who is social media compliant, who will have the time. Because for every second you lose, information is populated on the handles. So let's take, for instance, you're starting with what you call Instagram. So after you have set up your Instagram, another thing is the name. You need to be able to choose a name that people will recognize, will be able to affiliate themselves with. You choose a name, you set up the name, and then you need to now start to load content. It is not always easy to generate followers, but it is your content that will bring followers to your handle. Is someone following? Am I too fast? Are you connecting with me?
I'm connecting.
We are following.
I'm following you. Yeah. Thank you.
So I was using the Instagram as an example. So you need to be able to package your product, package whatever you're trying to sell across across your global view. I've seen people who, all they sell is maybe ewa going, and all of that. And the way they package it, someone abroad saw it. And then the other part is that you need to have a graphics. The graphics part of it has to be properly designed. Presentation matters. If you put a shabby presentation, I promise you nobody will visit your page. What you will get is one follower. The same thing also applies to to us in church. Presentation, packaging. So you can start with Instagram, and then you can also start with your Twitter. LinkedIn is basically more of for people looking for jobs. You can also advertise. And then Facebook, a lot of people don't want to use Facebook because people feel that Facebook has been has lost its focus. But a lot of people still advertise on Facebook. You can also have your Facebook account. And technology has gone such a way that you can link your Instagram account with your Facebook account. So whatever you post on your Instagram can also apply on your Facebook. You don't need to, sometimes some people, you don't need to go back to your Facebook to post. You can post on your Instagram, and immediately you post on your Instagram, it will also show. So if you have more followers on your Facebooks, they would see what you have posted. And then Twitter is more of words, though, you can put in 1 or 2 pictures or links, but Twitter is words. So you need to be very creative with your words, what you put. Because when you put it, someone else will tweet it. So I always prefer people to start small. Because if you have to now go to the next point of building up a website, you need to now pay for your domain, you need to pay for your website, and then you need to now start building up content. And then, of course, there are the other technical parts of your website, which is called the SEO, which is site engine optimization, so that whenever people Google website, whenever people search for your website on Google platform, it comes out as the first 1 to 10. That's what we call search engine optimization. And then there's other parts of course, checking up your broken links to be sure that, you know, I mean, your website is optimized for viewers for it to be properly advertised. So my advice is start small. Start with your Instagram. Go with your Twitter. Start with what you can manage. If you're just a one-man business, start with what you can manage. And then also have a good graphical representation of your products. And then content. You must learn to always update. You must learn to always update. If you don't update, people won't have any reasons of visiting your handle. Why do people go to, like I said, why do people go to some other handles? It's because there is always something new. There is always something new. Every time you visit Google, always check it. There is always a new graphic interface. They always redesign their stuff. Not every other day, but they always redesign it. That's the creativity. So you need to be ready as you get into the social media world. It's a whole world on its own. And it has its own rules. And you need to be able to walk by those rules. If you don't walk by those rules, you can't get the result. And what are the rules? Basic. Creativity. Your creativity can be hidden in your words in one sentence. Content. Graphical representation. Okay. Yes, I hope I've answered that question.
Yes, you have. Thank you. I'm grateful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, any other question? Robert?
Yeah. Good evening. So I have. So now we have on Instagram, all right, and I don't know.
Sorry.
Hello.
Yeah, I didn't hear that very well.
I said there's an organization we are trying to build on Instagram.
Okay.
But we've been struggling with the followership for a while now. I don't know if you have. I mean, what advice do you have? I mean, in terms of, I don't know, are there strategies, to get yourself out there on Instagram, especially because I know that Instagram is a cash rolling app, whereby if you can get your the right audience, there's no limit to how far your business can grow. So I don't know, are there particular strategies in terms of building, even on Twitter too? Because I noticed that on Twitter now we have people that we call influencers, and a lot of young people are actually taking advantage of the fact that they are influencers on. So are there particular strategies, in terms of increasing your followership and those kind of things? That's my question, actually.
Okay. Okay. I'm just taking you into. Can you see my screen? I'm just taking you into my Instagram account.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. I just want to do a practical example so that you understand, so that answers your question. I follow a lot of people. I follow a lot of people. I follow a lot of people. Now, look at this person. Look at this man. Trying to see. Now, this is a church in Ghana. How many followers do they have? None. Can you see that? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, we are looking
That,
at.
Yes.
But how did you know that he doesn't have any follower? Because I mean, I didn't see that.
Because you see, look at this.
Okay.
Only 6 people has liked this.
Okay.
Look at this. You need to understand that the world is not interested in hearing things. They only want to hear things that will interest them. Now I'm going to take you down to someone else. I'm going to take you down to someone else. Now look at this. Now this person happens to be the photographer, the vice president. This is how many people? Because everybody wants to see what is happening in Aso Rock. How many people is this? This is 2,200. Why? Because they believe that this person will always put up content about Aso Rock. Now, this is H.O.T.R. This is a pastor. How many likes does he have? 273. This is also a church. How many likes?
9.
Now, this is the Oba. This is the Oni. How many likes? 4,683 people.
Yeah.
Have visited it. Simple. It is what attracts people. Whatever content you can put up on your Instagram that will attract people, that is what will bring people to your page. If it's not attractive enough for them, they will not visit. They will not visit. Now, this is an influencer, Williams. Now, because he's always making funny things and jokes, people always want to visit. But the question he asks, does this add to my life circle? The day he posted something about Christ, he had only 1,000 people that visited him. But today, because he's doing something very funny, he had 100,000 people. You see? Now you see. So everybody wants to see this kind of things, hilarious things. It's all about your content. Now, it's all about your content. Now, this is Davido. Look at Davido. But go to church. Look at this. This is almost naked. What is this? But go to something about church. You would see, this is Tim Godfrey, of course, because a lot of people like Tim Godfrey and all of that. You see 1,000. So it's all about your content. It's all about your content. Now, this is another influencer. This is the Cubana guys. This is their content. Now, the reason I follow all this kind of people, because I look at the kind of materials they post online. And this is Bishop. Look at this is practical. This is Cubana. This is Bishop Oyedepo. Look at it. Do you see the difference? This is Cubana. This is a club person. And this is Bishop Oyedepo. So it's basically, now if you put this now, I mean, of course, if you put about, I mean, hey, this is what will feed your soul, but it's only 256 people, because for them is, what does this mean to will this add to my pocket? That's why we must not stop at using whatever tool we have on our hand. We must be very creative about our message. We must. This is another just 26.
Yeah, I agree.
We must be very creative. Very, very creative. This is one of my mentors. With all the messages he tries to push, only 96 people. He's also an influencer, but only 96 people will view it. But something that has to do with Big Brother right now. Everybody will run after. Everybody will come. So it's your content. You must be very creative about it, especially in church. I don't know what kind of content you put. I mean, we also in church, we've been having that. I mean, sometimes it's just one people, but you must continue to put in, be creative about it. If you've been designing it one way, you must change the way you design it. Put something, I mean, not losing our standard, because we know what the Bible has said. Not losing that standard, but you must, because you must be able to use the words and be able to convince people. If you go to Christ Embassy now, you would see how many people visit. I also follow Christ Embassy, and I see how many people visit and follow online just because of the content. Content matters a lot on social media. And if we don't get that content, once there is no content, forget it. Nobody will, you will just keep on, your space will just, will just keep on brewing there. When it comes to things that interest people, the question is, how do I pull the interest of people to my handle? That's a major question we should ask ourselves. How do I pull people's interest? What brings this person's interest? What says, what will drag Mr. Lagbaja to come to a church? It's the word, it's the content. It's the same thing with our business. If you are not creative about it, that's why you need to have a team that's why abroad, what people do is that they have a team. All they do is day, night, morning, and everything. They just sit down and think about being creative, about turning out products, about turning out adverts. Your content is very, very important. My advice is that you need to sit down and re-strategize in terms of content, in terms of graphic works, and then look for things that interest your people around. And don't stop. There's what they call persistency in advertising, which means that every minute, every time you open your handle, you're seeing these guys advertising. So one day, somebody will just say, man, I must visit this site. I must visit this site. What's it about these guys? Why are they bombarding my space? Because every individual has his own space on Instagram. So every time a message comes, you have come into my own space. So I have a choice of either viewing your page or just skipping it. So it's very, very important. Content, creativity, which is your graphic work. These are things we ignore, but it's very important. So I would advise that you go back and look into your handle and look at, re-strategize. Get the kind of things that the people within that area like. Look for an activity and then try to promote it. Before you try to spend money on adverts or try to get an influencer, even if you get an influencer, I've just showed you. That's why sometimes what they try to do is that when they come on Instagram, they try to crack a joke. That joke will now draw people. Okay. I'm listening. Hello? So I hear my time is almost up. Like I said, I knew that this question would, this session would, irrespective of where the devil started with us, I would beg that we have another session. So is there another question?
Yeah, there's somebody that wants to ask a question.
Okay. Yes, I also have a question. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you, Joseph.
Okay. I and a group of my friends also starting a business, a construction business for that matter. So, but we are having issues about when we think about this content creation, that should it compulsorily be after we've carried out a project before we now upload some of those content, or should it be like from our brand we can still upload. Our brand should be our content for now, or we should still hold on the Instagram, the social media, not yet going out to the social media and still trying to handle things in our space physically. I don't know if you understand me.
Yes, Joseph, what would bring me to your page beyond your brand? First of all, your brand, like I explained to you, is your logo. Your project, the projects you have done will give me the confidence that if I were to give you a business, you'll be able to execute that business properly. If you don't show me any form of history, you will not be able to prove to your future clients that you can handle any new projects. So it is very important that when you have projects, and you should be real. A lot of times what we try to, that's why you see here within us, within Nigeria and outside, a lot of times we try to take things, projects or pictures of unrealistic projects. Let it be what you have done. Let people see you for who you are. If you've only broken one wall, let people see you for that. If that's what you do, let people see you. When people see that and recognize that, oh, Mr. Joseph Alao can break only one wall, one day, the person who needs your service will crawl up to your page and will engage you. But by the time you put, oh, you've done this, you've done that, the day of test will come. There's also a room to learn on the job, but it will always show. Experience matters in business. So my advice is, if you've executed any project, have a simple Instagram page and start to load up, and then start to do word of mouth. Take pictures of those projects and then upload it, and then start from there. People will get used and see what you have done and then follow suit. And then people now say, okay, yeah, Joseph Alao is into construction. He can do this and he can do that. And then it will grow. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes. Sir. I have 1 more minute. Someone's trying to say something.
Yeah, hi. Joseph, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. This is Adedeji.
Yeah.
Okay, hi. Hi, Deji.
Yes, Adedeji. Hi. For some of us that already have like an online presence for our businesses, I was wondering, say our followers are increasing, but the engagements are reducing. What do we do about that? What would be your advice?
Okay, can I kindly ask
in balancing that?
Okay, can I kindly ask you the nature of your business? Because
it's fashion.
Fashion. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, can you go back and measure? Now, first you need to measure your trend. I mean, measure from the point. I mean, you need to look at your post. I mean, for instance, maybe if you posted a trouser which looks very, very unique, and then you had like 4,000 posts, and then you get a shirt, and then realize that that shirt only 1,000 people have viewed it. That has, now you need to look at the product that you upload, which means that people are more interested in this style and not that style. My advice is yes.
My connection went off.
Yes, sorry. Yeah. Okay, so let me repeat. So let me use a practical example, like someone like Yomi Casual. Now, there's sometimes there was a time he posted up, he put up a kaftan. I think I've taken up my screen. I would have taken you to his page. And he had only I think he had very little followers. Then the next one, he now used one of these guys that acted, I've forgotten his name, but Richard Mofedamijo. and somebody commented that I like I like what Richard wears. So what Yomina had to do, because I've had a one-on-one with him, was that he had to now change the style that Richard was wearing and put up some more different style in the same material. For instance, if it's a trouser and he realized that a lot of people like this trouser, what he had to now do was to change the style. The other advice I now gave him was that he needs to be more creative and follow the trend. You need to follow the trend of what brings people to your page. Something attracts your client. There's something that must attract people. Now, that product that attracts people is what you need to use as your joker. And see how to put some diversity, some different kinds of, see how to put it in different forms so that when people see it, they'll know, okay, this style is different and all that. Because in our mind, what we want to see is, they want to see something that is very attractive. People love to see things that are attractive and flashy. And you must also not forget, I don't forget this part that, yes, we're all Christians, that we're at the point where, yes, we're getting towards the end of the world. People like to see things that exposes some part of their body. It's not a hidden fact. So I think he's off. Okay, he's there. So you need to, two things. You need to look at the trend. And secondly, you need to be the styles. You need to have a change. You need to bring in a lot of diversity into your clothing. Things that really attract people.
Okay.
Yeah. It's all about, and then do you do this posting yourself, or you have someone who does it for you?
Well, I post them myself for now.
Okay. So I think you can also look at samples of other people, other stuffs, and see how to, coin out your own style. It will take a while, but you need to just keep on building it, and just keep on building it and follow on that trend.
Well, yes, there's already style. It's just, like followers are increasing, but the engagement is reducing. So it kind of feels like the followers are like, say, other brands that are trying to steal from the brand, or other people who aspire to be like the brand, but the engagement is reduced, and like the engagement is dropping on newer posts. Like the engagement is lower than the last one, or it isn't as high as it used to be, but the followers are increasing.
Yeah, that's why I said it's more about just the content. Yes, you could have 1 million followers, but what are these 1 million followers doing to your product?
Exactly.
That's the question. So what are they doing? And that comes to the form of that brings to the point of where you talk about the engagement and what really engages them. So when you look at this trend and follow this trend, you would see what they buy off, what attracts them. It's something that really attracts them. People just like to they always want to look for something new. That's the simple truth. They want to just look for something new and then just follow, and then just be counted among. So we need to always learn to diversify.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Jimmy. We really appreciate you so much. Thank you for everything. We're really grateful. Definitely, definitely we are going to do another session, because we know that we're not able to get as much as we want, but the little that you were able to do for us, we are really, really grateful. We know that you still have more stuff for us, so we're going to organize another session, and then we'll get in touch with you. God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you. We want to appreciate everybody that came in today. Lastly, before we go off, I would just like to push this at the back of the after such a wonderful session today, whereby we're being taught about how we can bring our business on the social media world. All right, it's very important that as kingdom citizens, as children of God, we must position ourselves. All right, what is it? For example, now if we are asking God to bless us, I mean, God will ask you, what is in your hand? What do you have? What do you want me to bless you with? So you have to have a platform. You have to have something that God can bless. So I mean, I'm also going to use, like the flyer said. The flyer says that advancing your brand, your business, and the kingdom. And I just want to really quickly touch on the kingdom aspect before we all go off now. The thing is that we need to open as children of God, we need to open our eyes to the reality of and the power of the social media. All right. We must also understand that God created the internet. All right. So the internet is not for the world. The internet is for everybody, plus the world, plus the children of God. And like our facilitator told us, if you notice from his Instagram page, you could see that a lot of Christian content were not being interacted with. So this shows that there is actually a problem on social media in terms of people's reaction to godly content. And now, as children of God, we must be inventive, we must be creative. All right, because at the end of the day, we are children of God. Okay, so even in our earthly missions, in the process of trying to build our brands, trying to build our personal our personal life, trying to achieve our dreams and our goals, we must also understand that we also have a duty to God. All right, as children of God. So I just want to tell us the possibilities of pushing the kingdom on social media. I'm telling you, it's endless. The opportunities are endless. When Jesus said that we should take his gospel to the ends of the earth, actually, I believe that he was talking about the internet, because the internet is a place where you can meet all kinds of people, all nations of people, all peoples of the world. And with just a single tweet, you can't be tweeting in Nigeria and somebody in China will receive that tweet. So imagine the possibilities that we have pushing the gospel of the kingdom on the internet. So I really want to encourage us, like the picture that Caleb shared a little bit. The internet is a world on its own. We have billions of people on the internet. And we as Christians, as children of God, we must open our eyes to the possibilities on social media, not just for ourselves, not just for our businesses, not just for our brand, but also for the work of our Father. All right. Thank you guys so much. I really want to appreciate us. And we are so sorry that we couldn't take a lot of questions tonight because of we didn't start on time and all that. So but we promise that we are going to organize another session like this whereby we can ask questions and all that, and we can be more interactive. I really want to appreciate everybody. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Have a good night, everyone. We are done. Thank you so much. Good night.
Take care of yourself. Good night. Good night. Good night. Thanks for showing up. So if you are new with us and you would like to know more about us, you can drop your number so we could chat you up. Okay. Or just drop your details. We like to get your info. The WhatsApp number will do. So just drop your WhatsApp number, then we'll add you up to our platform. Stay blessed, everyone. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
If this is your first time, please just drop your number in the chat box before you leave. If this is your first time, just drop your number in the chat box so that we can get to know you and contact you. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your presence.
Okay, Damilola, thank you very much. Yeah, Grace as well. Grace, thank you. We'll be contacting you. Have a good night.
Good night. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Take care of yourself.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Bye.
Hey, Joseph, good night. Take care of yourself, Joseph. Thank you for dropping your details.
Thank you, Peter. Peter kept coming in and going out. Thank you for coming. I don't know who is Peter. Maybe you can drop your number, Peter. Peter, please drop your number before you leave. All right, and Caleb.
Sir.
Yeah, how are we doing?
Very good, sir.
So I mean, what's our feedback for the? I mean, what's your feedback concerning today? What's your feedback?
Okay, wait, let me remove people from the group.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so I've removed Timmy, Ren, Peter, and Victor have come back. Okay, so it was good. It was really good, except that, you know, our audience, they are not really boxed up on the whole data aspect.
Yeah.
So the audience really dropped.
Yeah.
And I believe that they got something with what was shared. Although I would have loved this presentation to be like more on WhatsApp, so that even though they are in or out,
they can always
reach
back to it.
Exactly. That was what I was thinking.
Okay. So I think what we will do is that maybe our next session we can plan for next weekend, but this time around it will be on WhatsApp.
Okay. That'll be fine.
So that because initially our plan was to do it on WhatsApp, but then we felt that okay, let's upgrade ourselves and do it. But I mean, we can see that people struggle to follow. I think our challenge is that what I've noticed about our group.
You think what?
I said what I've noticed about our groups.
Can't hear you again.
God Chaser group is that a lot of them don't have money, all right, and they cannot openly come and say it. You understand?
Sir, please come again. I lost at some point.
I said my challenge is that a lot of them don't usually have money. And they cannot openly, I mean, maybe out of being shy or something, they cannot come and say it. You understand? So they just feel like, okay, I'd rather not be in the event than come and beg that I need data. You understand? So we just need to work on just what I can just say is that we need to work more on our relationship with people so that they can, I mean, feel free. They should know that we are not going to, I mean, we are not exposing them that they collected data from us and all that. So all these things we are doing is just for the betterment of everybody. So it's not like, you understand? So I think for me though, even though I was expecting more audience, but I think we did okay. We did okay. A lot of I was surprised you said that we had only one view on YouTube. Because a lot of people told me they were following on YouTube. So I don't know, maybe the thing didn't capture all our viewers though.
Yeah, it won't capture all of them as such.
Because a lot of people told me they were following on YouTube and getting messages that they were following. So I
just
think it's a bit encouraging.
I checked it now. The chat session is good. Wait. The chat section is
okay. All right. So